Let's make a short little video.
Hmm.
Um,
Surprise
let me
attack.
let me move the mic. Surprise attack.
It's a surprise attack. I'm doing my nails.
Well, you're always doing your nails. You always have a file in your wallet.
Yeah, yeah,
Ever since I've known you, I think you've probably been doing this your entire life.
yeah.
Can you kind of give us an impression of what happened, how that
Yeah, well,
ended up? And
Jim, he could play piano, but he couldn't play piano. He didn't have any feel. He was a great drummer, but he didn't have any feel as a keyboard player. And so I had the perfect term for it a while ago.
support, was that what you?
Yeah, I was basically support piano. In the very intro of the coda, you can hear the piano clearly just by itself. That's Jim, because he's playing everything on down, 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 do, 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 you know. But if you're listening to the piano, you can hear it change suddenly. It has a feel to it. That's what I'm playing. I played a support piano on top of his piano to give it some feel. So that's, I mean, if you know what you're listening for, you know what I'm playing, because it goes out to da 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 da. I mean, it has a little more flow to it, you know.
Right. And also, maybe some people aren't aware of this, but you added that coda like after you recorded.
Oh yeah, there was a big dispute went down over even having it on there. We'd already finished the album, we'd gone back to England and everything, and then Jim went out got with Robert Stigwood, who was Eric's manager, and they worked out some kind of deal, because I was against having the coda on it. I was against it. It had nothing to do with the song, but it turns out to be a part of it after all these years.
Well, let me ask you: was Eric supportive of having that on there?
No, no. Well, you see, there's a particular photograph of us sitting in the alcove of one of his seats in the garden, you know, and Jeep is at our feet and everything, and Eric's kind of looking pissed off like this,
Yeah.
and then Jim's kind of over here, and he's kind of looking a little bit apprehensive. We had the whole big deal go down about that damn coda, and Jim went behind Eric's back and went to Robert Stigwood and worked out a deal to have it on there. And so that was taken right after the cat fight, let's say.
And you were sitting next to
I was sitting
Eric.
right next to Eric.
Yeah, you were actually
And
just
Carl was leaning up. He said, "I don't want any part of this," you know. And I'm sitting there next to Eric. So I knew what had happened, you know, and I was against it and everything like that.
So you're talking about the promo photograph.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
only about, maybe half a dozen of those, if that?
Yeah, there were only a few, you
Yeah.
know. There's a couple of them, you know, but we were sitting in that alcove.
Yeah.
But you can see Eric less than happy, and
Because
Jim's
he
kind of
had-
looking over.
Well, ultimately, he had no say-so, because Jim worked something out with...
Robert Stigwood, they made a deal. He'd already cut a deal with Stiggy, and I was against it. I wasn't okay with it. And Eric wasn't okay with it. You can look in his face and see.
Okay, so that went on behind his back, and he couldn't...
Yeah.
And then you had to go back to Miami.
And record it after that. Oh, and we're at Jim's place, and suddenly we're waiting on him. Where is he? This is in Chelsea, and a white convertible Daytona comes rolling up that Jim had bought. Whoa!
I remember seeing something.
That was a bad scene, man.
I remember seeing something about what Jim was discussing, what he got for that, and the car was the car and a set of drums.
And a set of drums.
That was the deal that he made with him or something.
Yeah, and I don't know what all else. But see, Stigwood and them, they didn't think we were going to live 6 months, you know.
Imagine that the only fun thing that happened out of that was you got Dwayne to play on there.
And that wasn't that much fun.
Oh, please. I mean,
Because it was totally out of tune, and Tom had to work best he could to get that to sound right. We had to do what we had to do. We was getting ready to go on tour. And so as soon as we finished that, we were off doing the Johnny Cash show.
And then what was the decision to not really play Layla much? Was that part of it, or did you...
No, we just didn't play Layla much.
Well, when
We
you
only
played
played
it,
it.
you didn't play the coda.
No, we didn't play the coda. That was never done. That has never been done live ever. Not with me.
Not with
That's
that
for sure.
lineup.
No, not with that lineup. We didn't ever do it.
And so
We did
also-
it. We just did Layla a couple of times, you know.
But without the.
Without Dakota, yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to ask you. Anyway, maybe.
Run over by a train of thought.
I don't know, but this was so impromptu. I just wanted you to talk about the piano part.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I got a chance.
Who played it?
Yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to set that straight, because people ask me, and it never even entered, much less crossed my mind, to say I was support piano. Support piano is a really good terminology for my role I played in the outro.
Well, I would say you were more than a support piano.
Well, at that it was. I was playing the second one to give it some feel, you know. So that's
what would have happened if you just left Jim to play it?
It would have sounded like shit.
He played piano, but he wasn't really a piano player. It's like.
Yeah. He could play piano. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Finish filing your nails.
Yeah.
Thank you.